Hey, what's going on, guys? Arekkz here. Welcome back to another video for Marvel's Avengers, and in this one, as mentioned in the last video, I want to go over and break down the stuff they spoke about in the stream. If you guys didn't catch the last video, then I basically uploaded just 14 minutes of gameplay showing off one of the hero missions, playing as Thor. My favourite, Thor is the guy, like, especially seeing him in casual clothing, he's just a boss. But also, there was some co-op gameplay, so we got to see that, which is the first time, because up until this point, we haven't seen any of this game being played in co-op, so that was really cool. But of course, during the stream, we also got to look at a new story trailer, we got to look at some skill trees, they spoke a little bit about some of the customization stuff, the loot, so I basically want to break it down into 7 things you need to know about Avengers. So if you guys do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Again, be sure to keep it locked if you guys are excited for this game, or you just want to know more, you want to learn more, then be sure to turn on notifications, stay subscribed and stick around because we've got more videos coming your way over the coming weeks and months. Now, starting from the top, the very first thing is, of course, the story trailer and the main villain. So, of course, up until this point, we have known that AIM, or Advanced Idea Mechanics, are basically this corporation that are out there. They're trying to convince the world that heroes are bad, and they're attempting to get rid of them once and for all, also developing some kind of quote-unquote cure that would basically just remove people's abilities. At the heart of this is George Tarleton, who is the scientist, and his obsession actually drives him to become MODOK, which is a really, really cool bad guy because, you know, they said that for the game, they wanted to have a face, or a new face, for the Avengers. Funny there, because MODOK has got a massive face, but they wanted a new face for the Avengers and someone that would be a suitable threat for the heroes. And it's pretty cool because, of course, you know, he has plenty of history in the comics, and having him be a new face for the Avengers, you know, a villain that we haven't necessarily fought for quite some time, is actually going to be pretty exciting. So MODOK is one of the primary villains. I imagine we'll meet plenty of others throughout the campaign, but he is supposedly the main or primary villain in the game. Moving on from there to speak about hero missions. So as you explore the world and you progress the game, you're going to unlock hero-specific missions. I've mentioned before, but this game is split up into missions that you have to do solo, the story stuff, and also missions that you can do co-op, which we'll speak about a little bit later. And hero missions are the solo element of the game. Each mission will follow a particular hero and flesh out their part of the story. If you want to see the new Thor hero mission, then again, you can check out the gameplay video I uploaded earlier on. I will link it down below in the description box. But it does look really cool. I mean, minus the small frame rate issues, but the gameplay just looks really fun. I mean, again, I've mentioned before, I have had a chance to play this game a couple of times at different events, so I haven't played what you're seeing here. I've played earlier stuff and, you know, little sort of demos, but it is still really fun. The general kind of gist of combat is that you have a light attack, heavy attack for your regular bread and butter combos. You then also have different special moves, which are broken down into kind of assault focus ones, support abilities, and your ultimate ability. You see some of the ones for Thor, you know, like throwing his hammer around, calling down lightning, and he even has the power, like the ultimate ability to use the power of the Bifrost, which looks insane. However, when it comes to speccing out your characters, there are also pretty extensive skill trees. We get a look at these and you can see that basically, in order to kind of evolve your combat, you can spec down different trees, and the trees will allow you to kind of tailor the character to your chosen playstyle. You can see that you have melee options, ranged options, intrinsic abilities, overcharge abilities. They said there'll be options for aerial combat styles, grounded combat styles. The idea being that just because you selected Thor, or you selected Hulk, or you selected Iron Man, doesn't mean to say you have to play in one specific way. You can basically tailor that character to be the way that you want so that you can kind of enjoy them more so. An example they gave for Thor was this manual targeting one, which is really, really cool. They took the inspiration for this from one of the comics, and it allows you to manually mark enemies before you throw out Mjolnir, and it will then bounce between them, which looks awesome. And again, that's just scratching the surface. There are plenty of different things to choose from. They showed some different options for Kamala Khan, for Hulk, and yeah, you know, having the freedom to pick those, spec into those, and obviously knowing that your gear will then complement that is going to then allow you to, you know, I guess create some pretty varied builds. Maybe not necessarily super deep, but again, we won't necessarily know until we can see all the extensive mechanics, because there are also, you know, more subtle things. There are trinkets and things like that you can apply, artifacts, so there's a lot of things to tweak. However, speaking a bit more about the heroic moves themselves, I mentioned before that heroes have 3 special moves. They're broken into Assault, Ultimate, and Support. Assault are typically charged the fastest, and you can then charge these by performing regular attacks. So just by attacking, fighting, you will then accrue the energy you need in order to use these. You can also sometimes get multiple charges for these, depending on the hero, depending on the skill, but these will effectively work into your bread and butter combos. You then have support moves, which are great for co-op play, because of course, not only can they buff you, yourself, but they could also buff and assist your allies. So, you know, the example they gave was Thor flying past and of course using his support ability, which then buffed Iron Man, who was flying in the sky. And of course, as mentioned, you have your ultimates, which have great screen clearing ability. They take time to charge, but sometimes they do have lingering effects. So after Thor has used his Bifrost, for example, lightning will be cooled down around him as he's walking around, which is just badass. Now, after that, of course, we have the gear. So I mentioned that obviously this is a loot-driven game. It is a loot game, which is partly why I'm incredibly excited for it. And gear comes in different rarities. We've spoken about this before. You know, you have different rarities, different colors. The gear will carry perks. You can upgrade gear pieces, so you don't necessarily just have to, you know, look for an upgrade in terms of a new piece. You can actually upgrade within your gear pieces. You can spend materials that you'll basically find, and you can then unlock perks, and these will kind of give you special bonuses, buffs and boosts. However, some gear will also come with additional damage types like plasma or gamma, and this will actually affect the appearance of some of your attacks, as well as of course imbuing them with the relevant effect. There are also status effects that can also, you know, do different things like shrinking enemies. So there's again a lot of customization options when it comes to not just your character and how you spec them, but also how you gear them up. Outside of that, of course, you do have cosmetics. You know, there are tons of different costumes to choose from, and each character has dozens of different outfits, and you can earn them, the majority of them, throughout the campaign by completing missions and deciphering patterns. So I guess there'll be some kind of puzzle stuff for you to solve to unlock special costumes. Some of them also come from the end of hero mission storylines, allowing you to get like their iconic costume, and some of them will be sold in the marketplace. Again, remember, if you've missed any of the previous coverage, they have said there will be no loot boxes in this game, and they have also said that when you buy the game, any future content, because they plan to add on like story chapters in the future, any of that and any kind of additional characters will be completely free, so you won't have to pay for that stuff. But they did say they will sell things like cosmetic things, and as we saw, like emotes and stuff in the marketplace. So if that's, you know, if that's the kind of only stuff they're selling, then that's completely fine. And then lastly, the last thing, of course, the kind of arguably most important thing is co-op gameplay, what we've been waiting to see for a very long time. These are Warzone missions. These can again be played co-op. You can also play them solo and AI teammates, and it does also have matchmaking, so if you want to kind of jump in with people randomly, you can also do that. But this will allow you to take a team of 4 people and just go ham on screen on the enemies, which is really, really cool, because honestly, these are the games, or kind of that is precisely why I'm excited for this game. I've mentioned before in the past that, you know, I've played a lot of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I played 1, 2, and 3, and those are the kind of games where, you know, you might look at them from a distance and be like, it looks alright, but then when you sit down with friends and you jump into them, like, that's the same kind of thing with this. This game looks cool, but I know that it's going to be so much fun when I jump in with my usual squad and we're just kind of just running around. Like, I've already shotgun Thor, people are going to kind of call out different characters, and just being able to do those kind of team takedowns, because that's one thing you can do. You can do team finishes on enemies. So if you max out an enemy's stagger bar, then you can kind of do these fancy team finishes. We see one in the gameplay of Thor and Kamala Khan, just basically kind of stomping on these enemies. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. But for the time being, that is pretty much it. That's a quick rundown on the main stuff they spoke about during the stream. Again, I do plan to break down different stuff. I want to take like a more in-depth look at gear, some of the perks, some of the kind of skill trees and stuff. So we'll be doing some more videos next week. So again, if you guys do want to find out more about the game, then do stick around. But for the time being, that is pretty much it from me. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget, if you haven't already done so, you can join the Arekkz Gaming Discord. We've got an awesome community over there with so many different channels for you to chat loads of different topics and different games. I'm in there, the team's in there if you guys want to chat with us, find people to play with. It's just in general a great place to be. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our future uploads.